And oh, thank you, baby Jesus, that he did not have a warrant out for his arrest. Thank you, baby Jesus, that he had a clean record. Because if he didn't, this would have gotten much, much worse so fast.
Pascal.
This is a story that I found. I saw this a couple days ago, and I was like, I have got to talk about this one. And it has to do with a cop that harassed a black man at a diner or restaurant, and this cop was drunk. Yeah. This is, hold on, let me get this pulled up here. I found this absolutely fascinating. We're going to take a look at this video. This dude drunk. Clearly this man is drunk. Let's take a look at this video. He's in a uniform. He's a cop, and he's drunk. Let's take a look.
I'm telling you.
Why are you over here, sir?
Well, because I got called here for you.
For what? What did I do?
You have any ID on you?
No, I don't have to give you
No,
ID,
you do
sir.
have to.
For what, sir? What did I do, sir?
You do.
What did I do, sir?
God, send me another unit.
Please bring your superior here, sir.
I am the superior.
No, you're.
I am the superior officer. My badge number is 4. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have ID.
I don't have to give you ID,
No,
sir.
you do
I'm
have
just
to.
sitting there at lunch.
You
Why
do
are
have
here?
to show your ID.
Why are you here? No, I don't.
Yes, I do. I had a
What crime
call
did
on
I
you.
commit?
What
crime
you
did
know
I
what?
commit?
Get up
What
and
crime?
go outside.
I'm
Get up
asking you.
and go outside.
I'm asking you what crime
Get
I
up and
committed.
go outside.
Sir, I'm asking you what.
I got called here for you, and I'm asking your identification.
Sir, what
Get up
did
and
you
go
do?
outside.
What was the call?
Get up and go outside.
Sir, that's not fair. That's not right.
No, it is fair.
That's not right, sir.
It's very fair.
That's not right. That's
and
all
it's
being
very
recorded.
right.
There you go. Racial profiling, man.
Oh, yeah, it's racial profiling.
Straight in here.
5104 County.
Look at him.
Look at this man. Does he not look like he's a little bit intoxicated? I mean, don't he look like he drunk? To me, he looks like he drunk. Let's continue.
5104. And 22431 22. Or, I'm sorry, 32431 Run that, please. Because this guy's saying that I'm racial profiling him.
By the way, clearly this dude is profiling the dude. If he's getting his ID and going, hey, run a background check on this guy. He wants to find something to bring him in for something. That's racial profiling like a mug. What were you going to say, David?
I actually looked into this ID stuff after the conversation we had the other day. So there's no federal law requiring anywhere in the U.S. that you have to have an ID or that you have to show an ID. And for most states, they are not you're not required to show it to them, nor are they allowed to ask for it. Only in 24 states, if they have an article or if they have suspicion that they can describe, like a report they can file, then they can ask for an ID. However, you are not required to have an ID anywhere in the country, so it's not illegal to not have one.
So it's not illegal to have an ID, and if they ask you for an ID, it is, and you refuse to present one, is that grounds for getting arrested?
No. Not required to have one anywhere in the country unless you're for certain services, yes. But for traveling, as far as police go, you do not need to have an ID. You're allowed to not have an ID and just do whatever you want.
Man, see, isn't that interesting, guys? Let's continue. That's very good information. So this gentleman here did not need, Townsend is his last name, Townsend did not need to present any ID to this officer at all. At all. And yet he still did. He still complied. He's still going with it. But this cop is trying to find something. And this guy's, oh yeah, I'm racial profiling.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like black people.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't like black people.
It's like that out here, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
sad.
it's like that out here.
It's sad.
Everybody knows me knows that I don't care whether you're white, brown, or tan.
Drunk, sir? Why are you looking like that, bro?
Because I'm tired of your attitude.
I don't have an attitude.
You hear that? I'm gonna roll that back one more time so you hear what he just said. He's tired of who? He's tired of your attitudes. Hold on.
Why are you looking like that, bro?
Because I'm tired of your attitude.
I don't have an attitude.
Tired of your attitudes. Is he meaning Townsend's attitude or just black people's attitudes?
You do have an attitude.
Then they're back outside.
Okay, that's real. That's real. Yes, sir. But why am I being outside? Why am I being outside?
Is there anything on him? On him. Did you hear what they just said?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, so this guy was seriously trying to find something on this dude. We got more. Hold up. We got more clips, more updates on this story I want to pull up for you guys right quick, okay? But yes, that is part of the story. There's a more developing story to this whole thing, and it's so bad. Hold on. Hold on one second. Because there's a little bit of background story to this so that everyone can understand fully of what actually is going on here. And the thing is this man is clearly drunk as hell. But we have a video, we have a news clip that I want to show you guys. And it'll explain a little bit more. Let's take a listen.
A Vandergrift police officer is under fire for this video that's now gone viral. It shows him confronting a black man at a local restaurant, but not telling him why. Viewers sent us this video earlier today, and since then, we have been calling and emailing Vandergrift police and council members for a response, and we have yet to hear back. But the man in that video told Channel 11 Shelley Bortz he believes he was racially profiled.
Ryan, the man tells me he never did find out why police came to that restaurant this morning. He says he was the only black man in there and the only person the officer approached. The video, shared more than 1,000 times on social media, has sparked intense criticism and accusations of racial discrimination. Townsend says the officer walked up and started asking questions about his girlfriend's service dog.
He had just came in, just had a problem with the dog at first. He didn't want the dog in there. He wanted to see service papers, and we don't carry service papers. You know, it's just not necessary.
The 20-year-old and his girlfriend had just sat down at G&G restaurant. Not wanting to cause a problem, Townsend tells me he asked his girlfriend to take the dog home while he stayed to sort things out. He says that's when the situation escalated.
Whenever the dog went home, that's whenever I pulled my phone out because he started talking about, well, you know, I'm over here, you know, you were smoking dope outside the restaurant. I was like, no, I wasn't smoking. You know, I just came in here to eat.
Townsend can be heard on the video repeatedly asking the officer what he did.
What did I do, sir?
You do.
What did I do, sir?
When the officer started getting more aggressive, according to Townsend, he finally showed him his ID. But Townsend tells me that wasn't good enough.
Get up and go outside.
I'm asking you what crime
Get
I
up and
committed.
go outside.
Sir, I'm asking you what...
I got called here for you, and I'm asking your identification.
Sir, what
Get up
did
and
you
go
do?
outside.
When I got outside, he sat me down, basically wanted to run a criminal background, wanted to see if I had warrants.
When the officer found out Townsend was clear, he still ordered him off the property, stating the manager didn't want him there. Townsend went back to the restaurant 40 minutes later, where the manager welcomed him, even snapping this picture with him.
He's like, no, I didn't. No, you're welcome here. What the hell are you talking about? This dude had the audacity. The officer had the audacity to try to get him off the premises, out of the restaurant, out of the facility, because of what reason again? No reason at all.
I don't think it would have been the same if I was white, if I didn't have the dreadlocks, tattoos.
After speaking with Townsend, I went to the Vandergrift Police Department to ask about this incident. I was told the chief wouldn't be in until Monday and that he's the only person allowed to give a statement. We also sent emails to the officer involved and the borough council, but have not heard back.
Emails.
I talked to the owners of G&G Restaurant off camera, and they tell me they had no idea what was going on or why police were called to their business. They reiterated that they never asked Townsend to leave, and they said he's welcome there anytime.
Of course, because if they had anything to do with it, let's just say they did have something to do with it, right? They're not going to say that now. Let's just be real. If they had anything to do with that, they're going to do everything they can to avoid problems in the very near future. Then also on top of that, the fact that they're sitting there saying, the officer's like, well, here you were smoking the marijuana. Huh? And he's sitting there going, I wasn't smoking anything. What are you talking about? I wasn't doing anything. And you're sitting here saying that this guy, and he's sitting there, the officer's sitting here saying that he wasn't racially profiling Marcus Townsend. You have got to be kidding me. Now, we got some more information about that story, too. So far, he is still on leave unless there is more information. But right now, this piece of trash is still on leave. Now, you got a guy who's running around. You got a cop like this, who's clearly drunk, clearly got some issues there, running around racial profiling random black men. At first, it was a dog. At first, he was trying to go after them because of their service dog and say, hey, where your papers at for your dog? Clearly, he was trying to find something. He was trying to find anything. Then it escalated. As soon as his girl, he was like, hey, girlfriend, go take the dog, go home. It'll be fine. Just go home. I'm going to stay, I'll try to de-escalate because obviously he was going after Marcus. He was going after Marcus Townsend the entire time. He didn't give two damns about anything. He wanted to take Marcus down. Go ahead, David.
It's actually against the law to ask for documentation for service dogs because it's protected under the American Disability Act that prohibits both the public and private businesses from asking for or discriminating against anyone that has a guide dog or a service dog.
So you got somebody out here who's drunk as hell, running around, acting a damn fool, asking for papers that he shouldn't be asking for. Then the dog gets taken away. So it should remedy the problem, right? No. Next thing you know, he goes, hey, I'm here for you because they called me about you. Give me your ID. I want to see your ID. Then the guy's like, I don't have to show you my ID. He's like, yes, you do. He complies anyway. He gives him the ID. Next thing you know, he goes, hey, give me a breakdown of this guy. I need a background check on Marcus Townsend. Like he's trying to find anything to get this guy in trouble. The guy goes, hey, you're racial profiling. Oh, yeah, I hate black people. I just hate them. Literally. Then on top of that, he's sitting there going, oh, I saw you outside smoking weed. There's reports of you smoking weed. The hell are you talking about? Now you are literally leaning so hard on racial profiling that you're just going to try to pull out anything out that ass to try to bring this guy in. Then when you find out there's nothing on him, you try to get him to leave the restaurant. I don't know why you had it out on this dude. I don't know why officer, hopefully soon to be ex-officer, Willie Moore, I don't know why they had it out on poor Marcus Townsend, but this guy was trying to find anything. And that's the one thing that gets very, very scary about law enforcement, especially when it turns from being pulled over, let's just say. You get pulled over for a broken taillight and it turns into a hashtag. Or you get pulled over or you're something so small. Cop can come up and just do whatever the hell they want. That's ridiculous.
I mean, this is just like one of those examples of where police just aren't held to the same standards as us, and they're not going to. I mean, we have this video here of this officer committing several crimes, even as an officer, like federal crimes that are specifically crimes for officers, like drinking with his firearm. And obviously, we have witnesses. The owner of the place never called for or asked the police to come in there, apparently. So that was false as well. So basically, I mean, we have an officer who's just committing a few crimes on camera that comes into a place that he wasn't asked to come to and starts bothering this guy. Yeah, I mean, it is obviously racial profiling. I mean, he starts talking about having problems with his like race or whatever before he's even talking to the guy very much.
I can't stand your attitudes.
Yeah. And so this should be one of those clear-cut cases where the officer is fired and goes under investigation for breaking federal law, but that's probably not going to be what happens. But we can be hopeful. At least it didn't end up tragically, because let's be real, if it did, they would still be defending that cop, and they'd probably be defending him even harder right now.
You know, it's frustrating because this is the time when King Timma just said it, and that's true facts. At least he didn't bust out the "I fear for my life" type situation, but God forbid he did something, gesticulated quickly, put his hands up fast, had a cell phone in his hand that was in a dark alley or in a dimly lit area, and he's like, oh, he's being aggressive, pop, pop, pop. I mean, thank God this Marcus Townsend guy is still alive and it didn't turn into anything worse. But this dude was clearly trying to escalate the situation as much as he could. He wanted to find some action. He went in there for the dog. The dog didn't work out, so he tried to find a background check on the dude. Dude was clean. Next thing you know, he's sitting there going, "You were smoking weed." He wasn't doing as such. Then he's like, "You can't be in this facility." The guy's like, "Why can't I be here?" And you know what I'm saying? It just kept on escalating because this dude was trying to find something. And it sucks because this is the fear that we all have out here when it comes to dealing with 5-0. That there's this fear of, as soon as you get pulled over, and just because they don't like either the way you are dressed or the color of your skin, they're going to go and sit there and try to find anything under the sun to rein you in. And then all of a sudden, you move funny, you gesticulate quickly, or you gesticulate in what they perceive as a violent manner. Next thing you know, you turn into a hashtag. Marcus Townsend could have been a hashtag if he did not handle that situation the way that he did. And oh, thank you, baby Jesus, that he did not have a warrant out for his arrest. Thank you, baby Jesus, that he had a clean record. Because if he didn't, this would have gotten much, much worse so fast. And that's what's so sad and frustrating about this story. Because I hear these kind of stories all the time. This story that we just watched right now, the only difference that we saw right here is that this guy was clearly drunk. That's the only added piece to this story. That's the only sprinkles on top of this usual Sunday that we're usually used to consuming on a daily basis. The only difference is that this guy was clearly inebriated. That's the only difference. Everything else is the same old story. It's a broken record. It's sad, y'all. Real talk, it's really, really sad. The other part that does really upset me, though, too, is that this dude is still, at least as far as the taping of this show right now, is still on paid leave. Like this dude, there should be zero tolerance type situations. Also, here's the other thing. They don't do toxicology tests. You know, they don't do drug tests and alcohol tests on officers after an incident happens, which is exactly what they should be doing more and more nowadays, but they don't. Guarantee you they didn't try to do any breathalyzer test on him or anything of that sort, just to make sure that he wasn't intoxicated. That could have just been his demeanor. That could have just been how he talks. That could be it too. But this guy was clearly, in my personal opinion, intoxicated. But they don't have it for everybody. They don't have it for the cops, but they have it for everybody else. That don't make no sense to me at all. And those are the kind of things that need to be reapproached, so that there's justice on both sides of the shield.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.